Hello, welcome back. I'm Ben and I'm here at Acoustic Paradiso at Andertons TV. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and ping the little bell so that you get notified every time I'm back, or Pete or anyone else who's on the channel. Anyway, second video on these Cordoba guitars. Now these, if you watched the first Cordoba video we did, which was more of a kind of range overview of the more traditional builds, I covered a lot of history about the company and everything and where they came from and what they're about. Basically, what they want to do is make nylon string guitars much more popular than they are. One of the ways they're doing this is with this, which is the Fusion range. This is a nylon string guitar. All of these guitars are nylon string guitars, squarely aimed at the player who's more used to playing a steel string or an electric guitar. And there are some things that they've done to make them more comfortable for steel string and electric players. So let's talk about that. I think the common thing that tends to put a lot of people off playing traditional construction classical guitars is the fact that the neck on them is normally massive. The nut width is huge. Normally it's like 2 inches or something. On these guitars, it's reduced down. This is a 48mm nut width on here, which is about the same as a wide-necked steel string. So it's not as narrow as some steel strings, but particularly if you play kind of finger-picking guitars, parlours and stuff. My main steel string guitars are 48mm nut width, so this feels very comfortable for me. It's the same 25.6-inch scale length as the rest of the Cordoba Classicals. You need that longer scale length because of the nylon strings, otherwise it's too slack. But yeah, so it's got a much narrower nut width. The other main difference, which you'll notice when you pick them up, is it's got a radius. They've all got radius fretboards. Normally on a classical guitar, the fretboard is completely flat. On all of the Fusion range, they've got a 16-inch radius board. So again, it just makes transitioning from a steel string or an electric guitar to playing this, it's a lot kind of smoother. It feels less of a shock to your hands. So this is the Fusion 5. This is the entry-level kind of model of the Fusion series, all of which are designed, like I say, to appeal to your steel string players. This retails at $389 because it's got the Sonata burst, which is this kind of brown burst finish on the back and the front, which is quite nice actually. Quite like that. So this is $389. You can get a natural finish one, which is $339, which is the kind of starter. This has flamed mahogany back and sides, which you can see through the burst a bit. I believe it's laminate. I don't think it's solid back and sides, but it is a solid spruce top on here. So yeah, that's lovely. This is fitted with the Fishman Sonotone pickup. Controls are just inside here. It's an undersaddle. I quite like undersaddles on nylon strings, something I don't really like on steel strings. But there we go. It's got a bone nut, bone saddle, get them right around. And it's a really comfortable guitar to play. I'm going to play some stuff now. You're going to hear the same thing twice. The first time you hear it, it's going to be going through this microphone, which is the Neumann KM184. And then the second time you hear it, the new Da Capo 75 amp. So that's not playing in the room, that's just being used as a DI and things basically. So here we go. This is the Fusion 5. Next up in the Fusion series, we have this, which is the Fusion 12 Natural. The Fusion series has 12 models and 14 models. They refer to where the neck joins the body. So this is the 12, so the neck joins at the 12th fret, which is a much more kind of traditional classical technique. That's where most classical necks join the body, but you can get it with a 14 fret neck join, so that you can get higher access. There's tonal differences too. Generally speaking, a 12 fret neck join means that because the bridge is moved further back into the kind of lower bout of the body, you do get a bit more bass response. Consequently, if it's moved this way a bit, you get a bit more kind of high-end stuff happening. It's all very subjective, obviously, and it's really down to whatever you prefer. I really like this one. This is the 12 Natural with the Canadian cedar top. It's also available with the European spruce top, if that's more your thing. Mahogany back and sides, again, laminate, but really nicely done. The grain on there looks really nice. The finishing is lovely on here. This retails for around £500. I'm not sure of the exact price yet, but it's a lot of guitar for your money. This has got the Fishman Precis pickup system in here. So you've got controls for bass, middle and treble, as well as volume. You've got a tuner built in and a phase switch to help eliminate any kind of feedback issues you might get in a live situation. So there we go. As with the previous one, I'm going to play some stuff through now. You're going to hear it first through this microphone, which is a Neumann KM184, and then you can hear exactly the same thing going through the Udo Da Capo 75. So here we go. Okay, so last but by no means least in the Fusion guitars that we're looking at today, we've got this, which is the 12 Maple. So it's got the 12 fret neck join again, European spruce top, but look at the back and sides, flamed maple. Really pretty, very, very cool. Construction is the same as the 12 Natural here, except, so it's, it's got the Spanish construction with the fan bracing inside, but it still has the 16-inch radius neck, and it has all these things, the cutaway, which makes it, super useful for your kind of steel string and electric players. Another big difference between this and this Natural version is that this has got the Fishman Precis blend pickup system in it. So as well as having the undersaddle element, the piezo there, it also has a little condenser mic inside. So I'm going to just show you how that affects the pickup sound before we listen to this with just the microphone. So what you're hearing here, I've left the EQ kind of all at 12, and this is without the microphone signal blended in. Okay, so. So there we go. I mean, it's a Fishman. It's a nice undersaddle pickup. It sounds nice on a nylon string. I'm going to play a chord, and then I'm going to gradually blend in some of that microphone so you can just hear what it does to the plugged in sound. So here we go. That's about halfway. So I'll take it up all the way now. So it does give you a lot more of the kind of, it's what people always describe it as air, but basically that kind of high-end, high-frequency stuff that piezos generally struggle with. I think probably dialing it in all the way, like I had it just there, is a bit much, but it's nice to bring in a little bit. So I'm going to bring it into where I think, you know, my personal taste. I'm listening to it through this Udo Da Capo 75 amp. So there we go. So there we go. That's where I like it. There's about 1/3, I guess, maybe just over, closer to 1/2. But it just gives the guitar a bit more of that kind of life and kind of all this kind of nice stuff that you don't get with a piezo pickup. It's also got a notch control on there, very useful. I'll just play that. So there, you can hear that just taking out those hot frequencies. There we go. This is the Fusion system. I think if you're a steel string or an electric player who has been looking for something a bit different and haven't ventured too deeply into the world of the nylon string, you could start in a far worse place than any of these three. I think as a kind of transitional instrument from steel string or electric to nylon string, it's going to be great. And, you know, this I think retails around 700. So people would spend less than that on pedals in a year, surely. If you're that way inclined. There we go. I'm really impressed by these, the whole Cordoba range. I really like these because, you know, I'm traditionally a steel string player more than a nylon string player. Don't forget to check out the description below. There'll be links and all that kind of thing. Click like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Now I'm going to play out. I'm going to turn this amplifier down. I'm going to turn my pickup down. You're going to hear me on the play out just playing through this KM184 Neumann, so no DIs or amplifiers or anything. See you next time.